Once upon a time, there was this old lady who was sitting on her porch waiting eagerly for the rain to stop. As soon as her grandson saw her all by herself, he approached her. "Granny, why are you sitting out here?" he asked curiously. "I'm waiting for the rain to stop so that I can go out and get some kukur for dinner," she answered excitedly. Her grandson was puzzled hearing the word kukur as he had never heard of it before. Shocked by the fact that her grandson had never heard kukur before, the old lady brought her grandson out into the woods to find some kukur. "Listen to me, son. Let me tell you about the origin of kukur." With kukur being her favorite food, she was determined to convince her grandson how good kukur is. While making their way through the woods, she starts telling her story. Back in the old days, kukur was famous among us orang kampung. It can be commonly found on the tree trunks of decaying trees, usually blooming after the rain. According to some, kukur has almost the same texture as meat. After collecting the kukur, they made their way back just in time to prepare for dinner. After they reached their house, the old lady started to prepare her all-time favorite meal, kukur masak lemak. Hoping that she could finally pass down her recipe to someone, she taught her grandson the way to prepare it. As the clock struck 8, the dish was ready and served on the table. As her grandson took the first bite, he yelled, "Granny, this is delicious. Why have I not tasted this before?" he asked. The old lady smiled a little and answered sadly, "People nowadays are starting to forget about traditional dishes, son." Worried that his grandmother was feeling sad, the grandson took a vow to make sure that this dish will never be forgotten. As time goes by, decades have passed. The grandson is now all grown up and has a family of his own. Excited to finally get his son to taste the kukur that he had prepared, he said to his son, "This traditional dish was passed down to me from your great-grandmother, you know. Eat up, dear." Just like he was, his son was puzzled after his first glance at the kukur masak lemak that he had prepared. He turned to his father and asked, "What are these, Dad?" He chuckled at his son's question as he was having flashbacks of his experience with this delicious kukur. He smiled and said, "Let me tell you a story my grandmother once told me." The end.